Joe's business is doing all right, but his goals and actual volume just aren't aligning the way he'd like them to. He's working long hours and has little time for his family. Things aren't getting any better, and he needs to diversify his business to help create additional revenue streams. Joe's a hard worker and provides a good service, but that just doesn't seem to cut it any longer. Competition is stiff, and he's not sure how to go about growing his business. Plus, a slack economy has kept him from getting many opportunities. Joe's been in the business a long time, but worries that when he's ready to retire, he'll have nothing to show for it. His friend George encourages Joe to look into a Rainbow International restoration franchise like the one George owns. It would be a natural fit for Joe to add water and smoke mitigation to his business, and the added revenue is just what Joe needs. George explains that the restoration industry is less affected by the ups and downs of the economy. After all, if a person's house is filled with water or smoke damage, it needs restoring right away. It's an industry that's more claims-driven than economy-driven, which appeals to Joe. Joe listens as George tells how owning a Rainbow International franchise makes sense for him. Having access to the training and support from a national brand will give Joe added exposure, help him market his business, and recruit and retain good employees. Plus, says George, I can't say enough about the great relationship I have with my franchise consultant. Rainbow International really wants me to succeed, and it shows. Joe likes what he's hearing. George explains that with a Rainbow International franchise, Joe will have access to the system and processes that will help him in becoming a preferred vendor for insurance companies and local adjusters, something he's only heard about. And when the time comes for Joe to sell his business or hand it down to his kids, he can be proud of the company he's built. Joe can't thank George enough for bringing up the idea of a franchise. He's going to look into Rainbow International Restoration right away to see if it makes sense for him. George says, don't just take it from him. Check out what other Rainbow International franchise owners have to say.